Casey, I remember we were in Oakland, I believe it was 2012, and Francisco Cordero was just taken out of the role as being the closer, and you were named. And I remember that day, it was kind of like mixed emotions for you. Did you ever imagine, here we are a couple years later, that you would have really taken on that role of being a closer?
No, I don't think so. I never really envisioned myself as being a closer. You know, I was able to pitch in the bullpen and do well at times. But, you know, the typical closer is a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, a plus out pitch, and that definitely wasn't my game, so I thought I was already behind the 8-ball a little bit. But I did believe in myself, I believed in my talent, and I knew that if I could get 3 outs, regardless of what inning it was going to be, I could be successful. And getting the opportunity, I just wanted to run with it and try and make my name and stamp my name in baseball.
And the thing is with closers, it's not, that's the stereotypical closer that you're talking about, the guy that throws 98 and blows it past people. But you look at a guy like Mariano Rivera who throws the same cutter every time and has had success. I mean, were you able to draw, not say I'm going to throw like Mariano, but just to say, you know what, as long as I can get people swinging at my pitches and get those outs, I don't have to blow it by everybody.
Yeah, I think with Rivera, you know, early on he was a power pitcher, and as his age got to him, and he was still an electric pitcher, but he had to do it with command, and he had to do it with, of course, location and the mental side of it too. So I figured, hey, you know, if I can throw one pitch down and away, I should be able to do it every time. Nothing really is different other than, you know, what pressure I put on myself. And when you look at a guy like Rivera, he just nothing seemed to bother him. And I try to have my game, I don't want to say mirror his, but I definitely watched his game a lot and tried to use some of it for mine.
So you knew what you had stuff-wise, and you mentioned the mental aspect of it. At what point after that day in Oakland that you got the role, did that mental frame of mind start to really kick in and you kind of said, I feel like a closer now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it took a while. At first I just thought, hey, this is my one shot, and if I ever wanted to be a closer, I finally got my opportunity, and I better run with it or I'm probably not going to get another opportunity ever again. And so I just had that drive of, hey, this is where I want to be, this is what my role is, and this is my one shot. And I look at every outing that I throw that it's a tryout. It's a tryout for Gibby, it's a tryout for the front office, it's a tryout for anybody who's watching me to understand that, hey, I've got to do my part or else I'm not going to get my job.
It's one of those things that I guess as a ball player or any aspect of life, you can never take what you do for granted, because there could always be somebody, if you're not doing your job, that can do it better than you.
Absolutely. You know, there's tons of players in baseball. We have a whole minor league system and we're able to trade. And if the GM or anyone else doesn't think you're up to par, then they're going to go out and find someone who can do it. And I didn't want to give them that opportunity, and so far so good, but I still got a long way to go. Saying
that, how much do you enjoy that feeling of coming out from the bullpen with the music coming on and just taking the mound, knowing that, you know, this is your game to save?
I love it. I love to pitch, I love to compete, and I love pressure. And there's more pressure than the 9th inning. And, you know, it's fun to have the fans get excited, and I also hate to lose. And what better way to affect the game than the last 3 outs of the game and go home victorious.
When you were a starter briefly and when you were a middle reliever, I mean, especially as a starter, if you lose a game, you've got those 4 days in between to kind of let things stew. And, you know, if you're a middle reliever, most times you're not involved in the decision one way or the other. How hard is that side of it mentally, that if you go out one night and you blow a save or you have a bad night, the next night they need you to go back out there and to completely get your focus back?
Yeah, you have to have a short memory in the bullpen. Good, bad, or ugly, you got to have a short memory, because tomorrow the sun's coming up and you're going to get called upon again. So, you know, it's the fun part, knowing that, hey, something's going to happen tomorrow and you better be ready. And this game is crazy. No one feels sorry for you. And you can go pout all you want, but, you know, the other team over there is not, hey, we're going to take it easy on Casey tonight because he had a rough one last night. So I take it as a challenge, and I love to come to the park every night knowing that I got an opportunity to pitch.
That being said, how tough were the last 2 seasons here for you, having to deal with the injuries early on? I guess if you're going to have them, it's better to have them early, but I get the impression you're not the kind of guy that enjoys sitting and watching your team play.
Yeah, I hate watching from the outside, and of course I hate losing and being out of it, you know, late in the season, and you know, booking your flight home in September because we're pretty much mathematically eliminated. And you know, from my standpoint, I try and do everything possible for myself to prepare myself for every night and help the team as best I can win games.
You're going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and I know for a lot of ball players it may only happen once in a career, and can be a great opportunity. Have you given much thought to what will come of Casey Janssen beyond this season?
Not a whole lot. You know, we're locked in on this season. We got a long ways to go. I want to win so bad. I want to put all my efforts into this season. Having said that, I mean, it's crossed my mind, you know, before, and the uncertainty is exciting and a weird feeling at the same time. I can't really describe it because, again, you know, you might have that one shot to be able to pick a spot. But right now I'm all in with the Blue Jays. I love Toronto. I love the fans. I hope we win a World Series this year and go from there.
You've been around here a long time and you've experienced a lot of that losing. Have you given thought to what that might feel like to take them out in a postseason game?
We talk about it all the time. We talk about it in the bullpen. We talk about it at dinner. We talk about it that this city is going to go absolute bonkers for us if we're in it late in September, if we're in it in the playoffs. And I want to be a part of that. That's why I signed the extension I signed, and because I didn't want to be part of the rebuild and not enjoy the good times. And we went for it. We're doing it, and you know, hopefully this is our season.
Steve Delabar does a pretty good impersonation of your delivery, and it's a very unique, strange, never seen before kind of delivery. What's the genesis of that? Where did that come from?
The delivery or Steve Delabar?
We can get into Steve another day. But I always get the feeling that if they ever did a bobblehead for you, it would be better to have a bobble lower body for you.
I don't know where it came from. I pitch with my heart on my sleeve. I just love to pitch. I'm excited to be out there, and you know, I've said it before. I use the advice BJ Ryan gave me, which was, you know, if you're a boxer, you want to be in the center of the ring, and you want to be the guy throwing the haymakers. And with my tempo and I don't want to say my mannerisms, but I feel like I'm the one controlling the at-bat, even though I'm not the hitter. And just go out there. They say take the fight to him, and I'm just going to go attack. And my philosophy is it's going to happen good or bad, but it's going to happen fast. And you just go and attack and try and get 3 outs.
Well, if you're going to be a closer, you have to have something quirky about you, and I guess maybe that may be the only thing that is.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like each closer's got their own the mark on the game, and I mean, if that's mine, that's what it is. But you know, hopefully, I'm known for all the other things that I do well, as opposed to my arm swings and toe tapping.